All right, Jesse on fire. Welcome back to the channel. Oh, we got a good video today. So Khabib did a video, or not a video, did an interview. And it's in Russian, and the translation's hilarious. Don't you guys love listening to like direct to English translation of other languages? Because like they have like these phrases that when translated exactly, like you understand what they're saying, but it's almost like it makes it extra funny. And there's one of those that's gold in this interview. Also, we're going to talk about Owen Roddy, who did an interview and he spoke about, thank you to whoever recommended that to me, by the way. He was on, like, Owen Roddy did this long form interview and it was only, that's Conor McGregor's striking coach. And it was on some really small channel, like MMA Smash or something. And someone in the comments recommended it to me. I went and watched it. It was awesome. Really, really good. But yeah, so there's going to be a lot of information there. And here's the deal. All of this is going to be driving towards Khabib and Conor's rematch, like I've been calling from the very beginning. And here's the deal. So when this rematch gets made, as a matter of fact, first deal is, if you like this video, share it, like it, comment, all those things. But here's the other deal, all right? For all of my, my regular viewers, especially the ones who commented when I first said Khabib's 30th fight is going to be the Conor McGregor rematch. And everyone's like, no way, bro. It's going to be GSP. It's going to be Tony Ferguson. He's not going to fight fucking Conor again. Okay, all you guys that said that shit, all of you have to share one of my videos, like on your personal social media, if the Conor and Khabib rematch gets made. Okay, so when it gets made, because it's going to get made, everybody who watches my videos actually has to do that, all right? And then if it doesn't get made, I'll do something super fucked up. You guys can like comment in it, be like I don't know. You guys can start in the comments, like think of something super fucked up that I would have to do, and everybody can upvote or downvote, whatever, and we'll choose something fucked up that I have to do if Khabib retires, for real retires, without fighting Conor again, okay? So, and if you think of something really fun, then everybody can be rooting for Dustin, because if Dustin beats Conor, obviously the rematch isn't gonna happen. But anyway, so that's the deal. You're gonna have to all share my shit. All right, so let's start with this interview, though, because this is hilarious, man. Okay, so Khabib about a negotiation. This Khabib's interview about negotiations with Dana White and a rematch with Conor McGregor. Interviewer, have you thought about what Dana White should offer so that you think about resuming your career? Khabib says, first, he's probably going to offer money. And then the guy goes, even without a fight? And Khabib goes, it will be hard for him to surprise me with any opponent. Who do you think he will offer me? Everybody knows. Everyone knows where this is going, okay? Now, I just want everyone to remember who called this, who immediately called this, okay? Khabib retired. I said, nah, he's going to come back, and he's going to fight one more time, and it's going to be against Conor. Everyone's like, oh my God, there's no fucking way Khabib's going to come back and fight Conor. He's not going to do it. Well, maybe, but probably he will. Okay, so they say, oh, wait. I think he will offer you the fight against the winner of McGregor and Poirier. Okay, that guy's wrong. That's correct if Conor wins. He's not going to offer him a Poirier rematch if Dustin wins. Come on. Khabib, what for? I choked them both. Why should I do this? Interview, for the UFC to capitalize on your rematch against Conor. So this guy's just basically like, yeah, because of course Conor's going to win that. So why'd you even say the winner of that fight? Obviously, it would only apply if it was Conor. Khabib, yes, only money. There is no sports interest there. I choked both of them. Both were champions, and both surrendered to me. As a proverb says, a horse doesn't run until the donkey wins. Donkeys don't even take part in competitions where horses run. I have no interest in fighting against these opponents. Imagine if the UFC offered you $100 million. This is already a problem, but there is no sports interest there. So, I mean, if they offer him $100 million, he says he's in. And by the way, that is not out of the question either. Seriously, like if they run the numbers and a Khabib Conor, and this is the thing, this is the reason why I know it's going to happen. This is why I've always known it's going to happen, because like you guys are looking at, or maybe not all of you, but the people who have been arguing with me that this fight's going to happen are looking at this like you don't understand who actually pulls the strings in this sport, but I do. Okay, Dana pulls the strings. Dana decides what the fuck happens, because everyone has a price. So think about it like this, right? Think of something you would never do, like fucking never, right? I'm serious. Like think of the most fucked up thing you would ever do. And then say someone brought you $25 million in cash. So like, how about now? You want to do it now? How about now? Here, this $25 million is yours. It's like for real. It's real fucking money. You want to do it now? So whatever you said you would never do, think about it in those terms, right? Now think about how uncomfortable, whatever you're thinking, whatever the most fucked up thing you ever thought of, or that you could think of, how now you're considering, like, maybe I would do it for 25 million. Because there's nothing most people wouldn't do for $25 million. Now imagine all they want you to do is go beat the shit out of a guy who you've already beat the shit out of and you don't like him. And they're like, here's $100 million. He's going to fucking do it. Like, he's going to take the fight, obviously, okay? Now, even if it's $50 million, you tell me he's not going to take that fight? You're telling me he's not going to take the fight? Because his principles are so massive that he doesn't need another $50 million for Dagestan and for him to invest in his new businesses. By the way, okay, and we're going to get to that as well. I forgot to bring that in the intro. He has a new MMA promotion that he wants to get on UFC Fight Pass. Okay, everybody knows this. He just bought an MMA promotion. He wants it on UFC Fight Pass. Who makes that call? Who makes that call? Dana. And what does Dana want from Khabib? Geez, I don't know. You think he just, hey Khabib, go have a happy retirement. Yeah, I don't want you to participate in the biggest fight in MMA history. Like, I'm not interested in that. So yeah, just go retire. I know your mom doesn't want you to fight. Also, let me tell you a little something about that, motherfuckers. Let me tell you a little something. Let me rewind that. That was not in relation to Khabib's mother. Let me just say, what I'm talking about is in relation to Khabib retiring, okay? So I think that everybody just looks at Khabib and he normally tells the truth and they're just like, he would never say anything like that about, like, his mother doesn't want him to fight if that wasn't the case. He would never play that card if it wasn't true, right? And I would imagine that most people would believe that. I don't, okay? Khabib has principles that he would never break. I don't think that saying his mom doesn't want him to fight is a principle he would never break. Here's what I think, okay? And I'll tell you exactly how I realized this last night. He pulled the exact fucking move that Henry Cejudo played, okay? So Henry Cejudo wins a 125-pound belt, wins a 135-pound belt, defends them both, and then goes, I'm retired, okay? Does anyone think that Henry Cejudo's actually retired? Do you guys really think that? You guys think Cejudo's actually retired? He's not going to come back. He's already been asking for a fight with Volkanovski. He's already he's doing interviews with the Schmo talking about how I'll crush these guys. I'll crush that. Henry Cejudo's coming back for sure. It was a negotiation ploy, just like I said back when he did it. I don't think I want to buy the Explorer. And Dana's like, that's fine. We got another buyer. Your only play as a fighter, as a negotiating platform, is to say you're not going to fight. That's why so few guys have the ability to do it, because Dana knows how much money you have. Dana knows exactly how much money you have, and you have to have a lot of dough to be able to threaten that. Conor, Khabib, Nate Diaz, okay? These are the guys that have the money to be able to do it. Maybe Henry Cejudo, maybe he's got a few $1 million, and he's like, yeah, I can do it now, Dana. Thank you. But guess why I know? This is what clicked for me, okay? What do Henry Cejudo and Khabib have in common? Ali Abdelaziz is their manager, their strategist, their negotiator, okay? So both these guys solidify their position as like the undisputed champion. Like there are no more challengers, and because at the time there were no more challengers at 125 or 135, and both of them at that moment go, you know what? I've had enough. I retire. Khabib invokes his mom, and maybe she didn't want him to fight. And listen. This is not in any way meant to be disrespectful towards Khabib. If that was like real, his mom told him not to fight, I absolutely retract this. I'm speculating. I'm never meaning to be disrespectful, especially towards that guy. But I am going to speculate here that that this is strategy, and this has always been strategy. That he knew he was going to come back and fight again. He might even fight till he might go 32-0. Who knows? But this particular one was strategy. I'm now convinced of that. And what connected the dots for me was the Henry Cejudo thing, where I was like, man, how did I miss that? Henry Cejudo pulled the exact same thing. Cejudo and Khabib are boys, and Ali Abdelaziz runs them both. Like, Ali Abdelaziz is a mastermind, okay? Now, it doesn't hurt. It's not that hard to to really mastermind strategy when you manage all the champions in the UFC, man. Like, I mean, not all of them, but he's an exceptional manager. He is an exceptional manager, okay? And I've said, I want to say this again. I've watched the behind the scenes with Ali Abdelaziz. He's not just like some hustler, he loves these guys, and he makes it a family. They're going to collectively bargain together. It's like a family with him. I've seen them at his house, and he loves these guys. He's like, I love this fucking guy, and it's genuine. He's not like, it's not like car salesman. Oh, hey, love this guy. Like, he genuinely really does love these guys. And then, they're all like different cultures and shit. It's fucking cool, man. Domination MMA is fucking cool. You got like a bunch of Muslim guys. You got a bunch of guys that are from America, and they're all boys. Like, boys. Like, just because, again, not to get outside of MMA. I know people fucking hate when I do that. But this is just reality, man. Like, that right there. Like the love between these guys. That is why I'm so staunchly against this left-wing, like SJW ideology. Because I believe as strongly as I could ever believe anything, that the way forward for all of us is to just love everybody, like really genuinely love everybody, and what it doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you acknowledge their culture if you're being respectful of it, right? Like if these guys are all going to go pray at a certain point because they all share the same religion and you don't, you just let them, they just do it. You don't have to make some big thing about it. You don't need to go post on Twitter about it, whatever. That's their thing, right? They go do that and you're respectful of that. And then when they come back, even if you want to break their balls about it, do it because you love these guys. That you share love so you can break their balls. It's the separate them into groups and everybody hates everybody and we need to figure out the ideology. It's the opposite of what we should do. Okay, that's why I'm so against it. And if I come off like I'm hating them, it's because I don't. I hate their viewpoint. And I hate what they're trying to do because that's the way to do it, man. Everyone love everybody. Just respect the things that are different and then love the parts that aren't. Or love it all, actually. Anyway, I got off topic. But Ali Abdelaziz is running Khabib and he's faking his retirement. That is my staunch position at this point. If I'm wrong, I'm certainly not saying it to be disrespectful towards Khabib's mom. Period. All right? But yeah, so he's going to come back to fight Conor. And Dana is going to leverage that he wants something. I mean, Khabib wants something from Dana, okay? Khabib wants something from Dana, okay? The only thing Dana wants from Khabib is to fight Conor again. Okay, so they're going to make a deal. He's going to fight Conor. I will literally bet my life on it. If Conor beats Dustin, I will bet my life on that fight happening. Bet my life on it. So when you guys go in the comments and you go, here's what we want you to do, Jesse on Fire, something super fucked up. I'm in, okay? I'm fucking in. And I don't need $25 million to do it either. Anyway, so here's another thing. I'm thinking about renaming this channel. I don't know. What do you guys think? As a matter of fact, those of you who have made it this far are clearly like my real deal viewers. So I'm seriously considering putting UFC in the name of this channel. So I don't know, Jesse on UFC or I don't know, something that says clear, this is an MMA channel. Because that's all I'm going to talk about on this channel is fights. So Jesse on Fire was initially meant to kind of be it was going to be like Jesse on Everything with fights, but it doesn't really work. You got to make two channels. So originally my name on TikTok was Jesse UFC, and I changed it to Jesse on Fire, but I'm thinking about changing it back. I just have this feeling that people don't subscribe because if they only watch one video, it's not clear. This is an MMA channel. This is all I talk about here. Anyway, so let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, and then about the Conor thing with his striking coach. Again, thank you to whoever recommended that interview to me because that was an awesome interview. And again, it was a really small channel. I think it's called MMA Smash. It's great. Anyway, but he talked for a long time, and he validated that Conor has not stopped training at all throughout this entire time when he said he was retired. I mean, you can kind of look at Conor and you know that he's in such ridiculous shape. He's in such ridiculously good shape that you can tell. It's this is a guy who, this is not a guy who sat on the couch for 6 months, man. You don't get in that good a shape. I expect, and just looking at him and how in shape, I'm expecting the best Conor McGregor we've ever seen. And listening to that interview with his coach, I am now even more confident that he's going to come out and he's just going to be, incredible. And what he said about the fight with Dustin is he was Dustin's improved a lot. He has great hands. He's a great boxer, whatever. He's but he just can't even, where is he going to beat Conor? He's you just can't even understand how finely tuned Conor is now. He was talking about how fast Conor's heart rate, recovers now. It gets up to however many beats per minute and how quickly his heart recovers. So maybe even his cardio is going to be improved, which, goddamn, can you fucking imagine if Conor could carry a pace, similar to the second round into the fourth and fifth, he would literally be unbeatable except for Khabib. I mean, he's probably already unbeatable except for Khabib. But Jesus Christ, man, he'll be unbeatable. I think he could go all there's some really good wrestlers at 170, but he could run through a lot of these guys. Anybody who's not going to take him down at 170, he would run through all of them. And even some of the guys who would try to run him through, like try to take him down. I think Khabib is this like exception to the rule. And I realize like Conor got taken down by Chad Mendes, but for those of you who have never watched the documentary Notorious, which if you, whether you like Conor or hate Conor, okay, watch it, okay? Because if you hate him, you won't afterwards. I promise you that. I promise you that. Even if you're Muslim and he talked about your religion and all that stuff, you'll see if you actually watch Notorious, it was strategy. He says, dude, he respects your way of life. He respects your way of life. I promise you that. It's just that he's such a fierce competitor that winning kind of supersedes that. And so that in itself could certainly be enough where you're like, well, if he wants to win enough that he's going to disrespect the way that I live, then fuck him. I completely understand that. I don't have anything in my life, like that. So, but I do understand what it would be like if I did. So you're completely entitled to hate him if you want to. But if you're an MMA fan, I'm telling you, watch Notorious. Seriously. Like, just seriously. Unless you love hating him, because you won't hate him afterwards. You just won't. It's like the Kobe Bryant documentary. I told everyone about this for years, way before he died. I saw it probably 6 months after it came out. The Kobe Bryant's Muse, the documentary, and I told everyone, I'm like, it's the best sports documentary I've ever seen. Like, seriously, like it's Conor McGregor and Notorious and Kobe Bryant's Muse are my two favorite sports documentaries ever. And yeah, I mean, dude, the Kobe, because like you have this idea of who these guys are. Like, I really thought I understood who Kobe was. And you realize when you watch these documentaries and they really go behind the scenes with these guys, how superficial your understanding of them is. When you like, Kobe's this cocky, arrogant prick who's dirt. Because because you saw him so much throughout his career. Like, I'm like, I've seen enough of this guy to know who he is. Like, I've seen so much of him. And then what you realize afterwards is you're like, I've seen so much of him in one environment where they stick a microphone in his face after a game. Like, I don't know anything about him. Like, literally nothing. And when he did the documentary and you saw, like, this is a really vulnerable guy. And like, a lot of the stuff that I took as him being arrogant was actually him being really insecure from having a really tough time growing up. But fucking A, was he a fierce competitor, man. Like, he would, what really hurt me was that I spent his whole career hating him. Like, and after watching the documentary, I was like, dude, he literally would have been my favorite fighter. Like, he would have been my favorite, basketball player. Like, he would have been my favorite basketball player. I would have rooted for him like a maniac if I would have known what he was really like. Same with the Klitschko documentary, the Klitschko brothers. You watch Klitschko, it's about the twins. I thought I understood those guys. I didn't know anything about the Klitschkos, man. Like, the Klitschkos are such badasses, man. I love those guys. And I learned all about them with that documentary. I always saw them as like the real life Ivan Drago. They're nothing like that, man. They're like, and they loved each other so much. Like, that's the part of these stories that I really like, gravitate towards, is the personal side of these things. Because that's what these documentaries really dive into. Like with Conor, you're like, you almost watch it, you're like, Jesus, he's borderline codependent on his, not even borderline, I think he is, just direct, him and his girl are like completely, they've got major codependency issues. That's why it's kind of weird that he's having these issues with these girls, because I can guarantee you without any doubt that he is with D 99% of the time. Like, she's always with him, like always. And anyway, that's not here. But with the Klitschko brothers, they're like these really huge, cold guys, and you watch that documentary and you're like, fuck, man, there's so much like passion underneath that ice. That's why I fucking love Eastern Europeans, man. I've said this before, I fucking love people from Eastern Europe. I love it because it's like, they've got this kind of like stoic way of carrying their faces, but it makes it but there's always this like ocean of emotion underneath there. And it makes it flattering when they show it to you. I don't know if I'm doing a good job explaining that, but like, they're like, from my experience, the Eastern Europeans that I've known throughout my life have all been incredibly honest. Like, where they tell you the truth. Like, where from a cultural perspective, it's all, people will bullshit you in the United States. I fucking hate it, man. Like and you know, you could look at my face. Like I get lines in my forehead from, you know, doing shit at people bullshit me. I can't fucking stand it. And in Eastern Europe, like they're so much not going to bullshit you. They're like, Jesus, yeah. You're like, hey, what do you like this shirt? They're like, this is not the good shirt. I love that shit, man. But like with these guys, you know, they've got that stoic exterior, but they love each other, man. They fucking love each other. The Vladimir and oh my God, whatever his older brother is. God, I gotta watch it again. Anyway, whatever. But. So I highly recommend the Klitschko documentary. I highly recommend the Kobe Bryant's music, and I cannot more stringently recommend that you watch the Notorious one if you've never seen it. It's because here's the other thing: it's more fun to love a guy than it is to hate them. I promise you that. Like, and it's going to be hard for me to watch the Khabib and Conor rematch because I have so much love for both these guys, and I always said it would be impossible for me to root against Conor, but. There's no way I'm going to be able to root for Khabib to lose when he's 29-0, knowing what that would mean to him, you know. But at the same time, if he lost to Conor and we got to see a third fight and then actually giving Khabib something real to overcome, you know, like in terms of an opponent, obviously he's overcome a ton with his father and you know everything else, but like he's never really had a real challenger. You know, they've all looked like real challengers, and then you see like there's no one that can fucking hold a candle to this guy. And it would be pretty fucking cool to actually see. I mean, again, I'm not saying I would root for him to lose, but if he did lose, that clash in the third fight would be fucking biblical, man. Like literally, or whatever the, you know, biblical / you know, whatever the corresponding, you know, metaphor would be with the Quran. I mean, like, fuck, man. Like, can you guys imagine that? Can you fucking imagine that? If Conor wins in this rematch, which I don't think he will, but Conor is magic, man. Like, it's like ice cold, fucking brutal assault, like champion Khabib, who's never even lost a round, really, versus magic. He's magic, man. Like, Magic Mac as a good, I mean, he said that because he's like, I predict these things and I make them come true, but it's not just that. It's because he really does the impossible, man. Like, and yeah, I mean, everyone picked Eddie Alvarez against him. Everyone picked Jose Aldo against him, and he fucked him up. I mean, this would be his tallest order to win. Anyway, I'm sorry, I feel myself rambling on this video, but this is a fun video. Like, this is one of those things where I'm worked up. I love it. I'm right about the rematch, just for the record. Like, mask off, I'm right. He's there. The fight's going to happen, and it's going to be. I mean, I'm not changing any of the reasons that I've laid out, but that is what's going to happen. Business is business. Khabib wants something from Dana. Do you think Dana's just going to give it to him? He's not going to. They're going to make a deal, and the deal is going to be for Khabib to fight Conor. Period. And Dana will pay him for it, but that's what's going to happen. Anyway, so if you like the content, if you don't like the content, I would love to hear why. I feel like this is a video that should be pretty universal. But anyway. Love you guys. Thank you again for this continued support. I'm going to be gone over the next couple days. I'm not sure if I should probably be able to film, but I'm going to film with Sammy the Bull Gravano. Okay, and I'll talk more about what I'm doing with him. But I'm going to have footage by tomorrow afternoon of me sitting with Sammy the Bull for a couple hours bullshitting. How sick is that? If you guys don't know who Sammy the Bull Gravano is, fucking look it up and grow up. Jesus. Anyway, love you guys. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Peace.